Hey there, Pete Erickson here with Modev. I am on site at Voice and AI, where I'm in what is going to become the media studio on site here, and just outside these doors. The expo hall is being built, and all the breakout rooms are being set up for what is promising to be a really awesome few days here in Washington, D.C. And this is part of our Meet the Speaker series. It's one of the last ones I'm doing, and I'm very excited to have this gentleman on. He is an industry leader. He has been at the forefront of AI for well over a decade. He knows this industry inside and out. He is the president and CEO of Veritone, and he is going to be kicking off this conference tomorrow morning. Want to welcome to the stage here, Mr. Ryan Steelberg. Ryan, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Pete. I'm not out there yet. I'm on the West Coast, and so as we just talked about, I got to jump on a plane here shortly, so I can be on stage, bright and ready to go, and celebrate kind of this wave of generative AI explosion.
Yeah. So you're out in California. It's hard for me to believe you're going to be kicking things off tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. So I hope your flight goes smoothly.
Yeah, right.
One of the questions I have for you is, yes, it's been quite a year. We've known each other for a few years. I think this is the 5th event we've done together with Veritone. And, you all have been at this for a long time. You've been at the forefront of AI across different sectors, entertainment and, public safety and, human resources, you name it. What do you think is different about this moment and where we are versus, even where we were just a year ago? What's the big change?
I think two things. One is, for us, and I'm going to talk about this tomorrow, is, what we've experienced is for, I'll say, the individual. Let's pretend we are, at the end of the day, all of us are individuals. And for the most part, AI and machine learning has really been a boon for process automation and, I'll say, next level enhanced analytics and prediction. So it's been mostly using these AI models to act on this data set, all this incredible amount of data that we've historically had. I think what we've seen here recently is that the generative AI side, and it's not just they launched the large language models, which we're going to hear from dozens of speakers, right, in knowledge graphs over the course of the week, but really the opportunity to open up those technologies to you and I to use through a natural language interface, meaning we don't have to be coders or scripters at all. Our ability to directly query against these large language models and experience the raw horsepower of the AI models directly as individuals has been a complete game changer, as compared to having to go through your CIO department who's building a knowledge graph and you're doing SQL queries against the database, and boom, this one was right in our face. And so not only did we as individuals have the power to get into almost what it feels like the Google search index raw with our own search capabilities, but the timing of the conversational AI and the natural language opportunity, where you and I can query it with our normal voice and questions and get these intelligent answers back in real time, is a complete game changer. And so in effect, you still have the opportunity to increase efficiency and process automation. But what you're seeing here with these new models is a whole new category of creativity. I'm just going to call the word creation. And that's really fundamentally a major game changer.
I think that's well summarized. Yeah, I think that we've just had data is growing at an exponential rate, right? And I think we've talked about who some of your customers are, the large studios that just have like an unbelievable amount of different kinds of data, right? Media and otherwise. And I guess I sort of see it as we've gotten to this point where there's just so much data that you have to have this unstructured look at it and the ability to sort of, filter, if you will, like you said, kind of the Google search moment for data. How big a role is generative AI versus large language models, from where you're sitting as a major product provider, providing that interface for your customers to be able to start to query their data versus on the back end, being able to even manage all the data through their own maybe customized version of a large language model?
I think it's making enterprises rethink their entire data strategy. You're like, yes, we just went, I'll say, through the snowflake wave, right, a few years ago. Right. But I think people are now having to revisit it, and they're saying, well, wait a minute, these to really get the benefit and power out of some of these public, I'll call them public large language models that are using public information, groups became leery about potentially putting a lot of their data right into these large language models that are frankly owned, even if they're supposed to be somewhat open source, by third-party companies.
Right.
So it's forced companies to rethink their going back to almost reverting back to saying, let's revisit our data strategy. Right. What is our DMP? How are we managing our knowledge graphs? But now they're saying, how do we manage these data sets in context to take advantage of these new large language models? So for parallel for us, for example, is our kind of original thesis at Veritone was we made a big assumption that there was going to be, frankly, millions of AI models out there, right? Whether it was started with the class of, like, let's say programmatic transcription or object detection in video or semantic analysis. Now obviously we're fast forwarding, and large language models, actually they're called a model, is really that. Right? Yes, they're much bigger and more dynamic, but at the end of the day, as we've all seen already, there's lots of them already out there.
Yep.
So now it's really about what's the best way to build a stack and orchestrate between proprietary data and knowledge graphs and invoking large language models in the context of, I'll call, an operating system that will help ultimately solve the problem. So I think what we're going to see here is people are still figuring out. Now they see all these different pieces of a recipe, right, or ingredients for a recipe. Now enterprises, large and small, are trying to say, what's the best structure, ironically, to be able to warehouse our data and be able to activate the opportunity here and not have to throw the whole stack away in a couple months because we made some material security mistake, for example.
I think you're right. It's sort of become this what now moment for enterprises. And I think that's one of the things that we're excited about this week's event is we are at this what now moment, and we've got 1,500 people coming in from more than 30 countries to help answer those questions about what's now. And Veritone is certainly in the center of that conversation. And I look forward to having your team here. I saw the beautiful booth being built just outside the expo halls, and that'll be a great welcome for folks. Anything you're particularly looking forward to over the next few days?
No, what's exciting is I'm learning as much as everybody else at these shows, right? I mean, these tools being readily accessible, it's providing entrepreneurs great opportunities to come up with new, novel ideas of applying this technology to solve problems. And so, we are a developer of technologies ourselves, but we're also a platform. And so, we have over 3,700 customers. And so we're always there looking at these new novel approaches and ideas. And so one thing of what's been great about your shows, Pete, is I end up doing business, not just selling, but I form partnerships pretty much at every one of your shows. So I'm excited to say who's going to be the new partners, potential customers or clients of Veritone as this show kicks off here and rolls over the next few days. So I'm excited. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. You guys have been just fantastic partners, and I look forward to seeing your full team. I did see Jerry out in the expo hall getting things set up. So
ubiquitous Jerry.
Yeah. Everyone needs a Jerry. So that's great. Well, Ryan, thanks so much for spending a little bit of time with us. We really look forward to your opening keynote tomorrow morning. Safe travels out from LA.
Thanks, Pete. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Cheers.